I'm going to show you guys how to replace a fuel pump for a 92 to 2000 Civic. It's usually in the back here, right under the rear seats. There's one latch on each side and the bottom, and all you have to do is pull up, or actually pull from the rear up, and then slide the front forward and it'll come off. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 screws to remove the fuel pump cover, so we're going to do that first. You should be able to pry the cover off now, or just take it off. So as soon as you pry it off, you just kind of want to flip this backwards. This is a plug cover, which is the first thing you want to remove. You just kind of pry this back, just like that. All you're going to want to do is squeeze the side of the switch to remove it, put it aside. And then for this one, it's the same thing. There's a cover over it, which you just remove from the top. For this plug, all you do is just push the center of it and pull it out, and it should come out. There you go, just like that. So then get those two plugs out of the way, along with the cover. There are 6 10mm bolts, which you want to remove. Should be pretty simple. Once those 6 bolts are removed, you're going to want to remove these 2 hoses. To remove this one, you're going to want to use some pliers. This is pretty much going to require 2 hands. You're going to want to squeeze these 2 white tabs and pull the hose out, just like that. So after you got these 2 hoses removed, you can finally take the lid off of the fuel pump. And you basically want to shimmy this out. You just got to be careful you don't break any connections while you're taking this out. You want to use a shop towel just to not get anything dirty or any debris inside there. This end is the one that you want to come out first when you take it out. And then take out the rest right here. The fuel pump is only this section right here, and I'm going to show you guys how to replace this. So here's the whole assembly right here, and the fuel pump obviously is right here. And to remove this, all you need to do is use a small flathead or any type of screwdriver small enough and push against these little locks on the edges, and that'll release the green clip, and then you can use a flathead to pry this out. So the green clip is out. Now you can take the main black clip out by using the same method, using a small screwdriver, and then pulling this out. So once you unplug this, you can remove this clamp on the hose on top, because you're going to be removing the hose itself with the old fuel pump, because the new one that I'm installing is the Walbro 255, and it comes with a new hose actually, which is right here. So it comes with a new hose and new clamps, which are actually much easier to work with, that uses a screwdriver as opposed to pliers. The fuel pump also comes with a new strainer, so you don't have to use the old one, and it comes with a new clip as well. This part is basically held by a silver clip. I don't know if you guys can see it, it's right there, and that's what's holding it to the fuel pump. So you want to get a small screwdriver like this, a really thin one, so that it's able to fit in this little area, and you should be able to just pry it off. Now that that small clip is off, you should be able to just pull this off, just like that. You should be able to slide the fuel pump right off of this housing and pull the hose off as well. If it doesn't come off, honestly, twisting it helps a lot. So twist and pull at the same time. All right, well, the hose is still stuck there, but the fuel pump is out. You should be able to just pry it off. Let's try this. And now it's time to put the new stuff on. They usually give you more hose than needed so that you have some stuff to play around with. So you're gonna want to cut off the excess hose, which is right about here. Now that's cut off to a pretty similar length as this one, you're gonna want to put this onto the fuel pump. You're gonna want to put one clamp on. Then before you attach this to the housing, you're gonna want to put another clamp on for the top. Now you're just going to slide it onto the male piece right up top. Now you're going to want to take out the new strainer. This is important because this is the new locking piece for the new strainer. So you're going to want to put the original rubber piece from the fuel pump on here onto the new one. Once that's on, you can slide that right back into the housing. There's one large circle, one small circle. This matches with it, so it's pretty simple. Self-explanatory. You're just going to want to slide that right on. You can really feel it lock into place, so make sure this is locked all the way in. Then you take your new locking clip, and then when that's on nice and tight, then you're just going to continue the reverse process, which is to put these 2 clamps on first. Once both clamps are tight, then you're just going to want to plug this back in. Then you're gonna wanna put the green clip back on, which is basically a locking mechanism. You're pretty much all set. This is the new assembly with the new fuel pump. So you're just gonna wanna do everything in reverse. So pop this back open. If you guys can see in there, there's actually a tray right there where this fuel pump is actually gonna slide into. That's why it's kind of on an angle like this. So if you basically fold up the strainer against the side of the fuel pump and slide it in on an angle right into the tray, it should go in pretty smoothly. And once that goes in, you should be able to align all these bolts on the top. We just bolted in 2 nuts just to keep this cover secure while we put these 2 hoses back on. That one just snaps on just like that. This one's pretty simple too. You just put the hose back on, push it in all the way up to this notch right here. You can use pliers to pinch this clamp, slide it all the way over. Then you're gonna wanna bolt these 4 remaining nuts. Then remember we had 2 plugs, so you're just gonna wanna plug those back in until it snaps. All right, then you're gonna wanna put the last plug back in, which goes in just like that, snaps back in. Make sure everything is tight, nothing is wobbling around, and then you wanna place the cover back on. And the moment of truth, make sure the car still turns on. And if it does turn on, that means the fuel pump is working, so let's try it out. Make sure the car's in neutral. And the car turns on, so that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching, and please subscribe and like the video or share it or whatever, and yeah, I'll see you guys next week.